This story is brought to us from NBCChicago.com. Out of Chicago, shout out to Joe Cool from Chicago. Look him up on YouTube, Joe Cool. I said earlier this week that cops lie. They can't be trusted. They do things under the cover of night. And it always comes to light. Always comes out. And we're learning that from this Chicago police supervisor. A Chicago police supervisor retired earlier this month amid an investigation into racist and other incendiary comments he made on Facebook account he falsely claimed had been hacked. Police Lieutenant John Cannon, who once served as a watch commander of the Near North Police District, stepped down October 15th of this year, nearly a year after the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, or COPA, found he showed a flagrant disregard for department policies and recommended he be fired. So he stepped down so he could keep his pension and get a job somewhere else. Now, the COPA report stated Lieutenant Cannon's posts disparaged the same protected classes he took an oath to protect and serve, including Muslims, African Americans, Hispanics, Asian Americans, the LGBTQ community, and women. It said, through his use of social media, Lieutenant Cannon demonstrated that he is unable to treat all the citizens of Chicago with fairness and equity. Now, it was not known what, if any, action was taken by the Chicago Police Department. Police representatives didn't respond when asked whether Superintendent David Brown agreed with COPA's recommendation to fire Cannon. This is the same David Brown that came from Dallas. Max Caproni, the jabroni. Oh, I'm sorry. He's not a jabroni. Max Caproni, executive director of the Chicago Police Board, said Cannon's allegations were never referred to the board, which rules on serious police disciplinary cases. Cannon's attorney, Dan Herbert, didn't respond to the questions. Now, COPA investigation was sparked by a complaint that also flagged Officer Robert Baker's connection to the far-right Proud Boys, and he's a cop, right? The oversight agency said Baker wasn't fired following a probe, setting off a recent firestorm at City Hall. In Cannon's case, this lieutenant, COPA focused on 19 allegations related to the social media post, 16 of which were sustained. One framed firefighters as homosexuals. Another proclaimed that former President Barack Obama is ISIS with an edited photo of Obama wearing a hijab. In one jarring example cited by COPA from July of 2018, Cannon appeared to respond to body-worn camera footage of the fatal police shooting of Harith Augustus, a well-regarded South Shore barber whose death sparked protests and unrest. Here's what Cannon wrote, according to this report. Brave young warriors face to face with an urban terrorist, and the better trained professional police officer won the day. Excellent work by all the new batch of warriors. Love it. That's what the police are becoming. American law enforcement in the United States is becoming warriors. Cannon was publicly identified as Samuel Hipster, the name he used on Facebook, in June of 2020 after he made a complaint against the former dean of the University of Illinois School of Law where he studied. Cannon emails sent by administrators of the school community in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd discriminated against white people and police officers. That's what he says. The school is discriminated against white people and police officers. Let me guess, he's a white cop. I haven't seen this guy. He followed up the complaint with a lawsuit claiming a fellow student sent an email blast on behalf of the lawyers group calling for the removal of Chicago police officers from the school. Cannon contended the appeal amounted to discriminatory, harassing dissemination of hate speech by wanting all cops taken out of the school. Cannon also claimed the same student, hacked into his private Facebook account and published its comments to defame him and discredit his complaints. Hold on a minute. Cannon spoke to at least 2 media outlets after filing the lawsuit, claiming his posts were manipulated to make him look like a bigot or a racist, some nefarious actor. He told ABC7, "I think there's been significant damage to my reputation, so I think the law school has a responsibility to restore me where I was before these attacks." Now, those posts appeared to be a direct screenshot from his page, Copa noted, meaning they were accessible to someone who shared the lieutenant's post publicly. So those posts were screenshots from, he went to his Facebook post and screenshotted, so it's a friend or someone that can see his posts. Cannon later said, here he goes. Now, he's been saying this whole time, I was hacked. My Facebook account was hacked. Cannon later said he meant that someone accessed his social media without permission, Copa said, but Cannon did not provide any evidence that someone had improperly accessed his account. In fact, Cannon clearly identified himself on his Facebook page, even using his full name for the profile link and web address. He also posted a selfie and a letter congratulating him on making the school's dean list. And then he says, just give me my law degree, you a-holes. Just give me. But you hear what he said? All this time it's been hacked. And then he says, well, what I meant was someone accessed it without my permission. So obviously he's letting people use his Facebook account. Well, someone used it without my permission. Well, how do we know that? How do we know it wasn't you? How do we know it wasn't you? Because if it was truly hacked, he would have stuck with that story. No, I was hacked. But then he goes, no, what I meant was someone used it without my permission. Then you weren't hacked. So you were lying when you said you were hacked. So how many police reports has this guy went, no, what I really meant, Your Honor, when I wrote that in my report was, I meant that,